It all began on a misty night in the outskirts of Ravenwood, a forgotten town surrounded by deep forests and mountains no one dared to climb anymore. At the center of this abandoned land lay a tunnel known to the locals as the Cursed Tunnel of Midnight. It was built in 1896 during the old railway expansion, but soon shut down after workers disappeared one by one. No one ever knew what truly happened, but every full moon, strange lights and whispers echoed from within, as if the tunnel was alive. Ethan Miller, a young urban explorer and photographer, had always been fascinated by abandoned places. He had filmed ghost towns, haunted factories, and deserted hospitals, but when he heard about this cursed tunnel, he knew this was going to be the ultimate story for his YouTube channel, Urban Shadows. He wanted fame, he wanted fear, and this tunnel promised both. Locals warned him not to go after midnight. An old man at a diner whispered, "Time stops there, son. You won't come back as the same person." Ethan smiled, thinking it was superstition, but deep inside, a strange curiosity burned. He reached the entrance just before midnight. His flashlight flickered as if rejecting. The rusty tracks disappeared into a dark hole where silence screamed louder than any noise. The first few steps were easy. Dust, spider webs, and the smell of old iron filled the air. But after a few meters, the air became heavy, cold, dense, almost breathing. The echo of his footsteps turned into whispers that didn't belong to him. "Who's there?" he shouted, his voice trembling slightly. A faint whisper replied, "Turn back before the clock strikes 12. He checked his watch, 11:58 p.m. Ignoring it, Ethan placed his tripod and began recording. Suddenly, the sound of dripping water turned into ticking clocks. Tick, tick, tick. The tunnel started to hum like an old machine waking up. The wind rushed from behind and all his equipment shut off. His watch froze. 12 a.m. Midnight. At that very moment, the world around him went still. The dripping stopped, his breath stopped, even the dust in the air froze mid-motion. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. Then he saw them, the shadowy figures of the workers who disappeared decades ago, standing motionless with hollow eyes and shattered helmets. They didn't move, yet they seemed to exist between seconds. Suddenly, time snapped back for a single heartbeat, and he heard the voice again. "You shouldn't have stayed past midnight." The shadows began to walk toward him in slow, unnatural motions, like frames of broken film. Ethan ran, but the tunnel stretched endlessly. The exit was gone. Only darkness and whispers of the past remained. The cursed tunnel had taken him in, and time had stopped for him forever. Morning came in Ravenwood, but Ethan never returned. His camera was later found near the tunnel entrance, still recording. The footage showed distorted frames, clocks melting, walls breathing, and a faint shadow standing behind him, whispering, "Still here." For months, locals avoided the area, but soon urban legend seekers began to arrive. One such group was a team of paranormal investigators called the Spectral Seekers. The leader, Clara Winters, had studied supernatural phenomena for years. When she heard about Ethan's disappearance, she wanted to find out the truth. On October 13th, she and her team entered the tunnel at 11:45 p.m. with sensors, cameras, and EMF detectors. The temperature dropped instantly. "It feels like the air itself is holding its breath," Clara said. As the clock struck 12, the entire team's watches froze. The lights dimmed, and one of them, Mark, vanished into thin air. His voice echoed from deep inside. "Help me, it's not just dark, it's empty." Clara tried to follow, but every step forward brought her back to the same spot. It was like walking inside a loop of frozen time. Then she saw Ethan, standing at the far end of the tunnel, pale, with eyes like broken glass. "You shouldn't be here. Time doesn't move here, it consumes." His voice was mechanical, detached from emotion. Behind him, the ghostly workers began to appear again, chanting in unison. "We built the way to forever. Now we can never leave." Suddenly, the tunnel roared like thunder.
All the clocks on the screen of their cameras started to spin backward. Clara screamed, trying to drag her team toward the entrance, but the air had turned into liquid, heavy and thick. She pushed with all her strength until she saw the first ray of dawn. The instant she crossed the exit, everything went silent. Time resumed. Clara collapsed on the ground, gasping for breath. Her watch showed 12:01 a.m. She looked behind. The tunnel had vanished. Only a blank hill remained. But in her hand, she still held Ethan's broken camera. When she played it back later, one frame appeared with a haunting message carved in red. The tunnel never existed. It exists in time itself. From that night, no one found the tunnel again. Travelers still claim that sometimes, while driving through Ravenwood at midnight, the air thickens, the car clocks stop, and they hear the faint sound of a train that never arrives.